everybody. What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. Oh, let's try it again. All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I'm coming at you a little bit today just before, we'll say 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just minutes ago, the NFL, the Detroit Lions, Jameson Williams himself, maybe the world isn't as wrong as we were led to believe with Dave Burkett's story about a week ago. For those who don't know, Dave Burkett, longtime beat reporter for the Oakland Press, Detroit News, etc., came out and said he had inside information stating that he believed Jameson Williams was going to be the target of a potential trade, making sure my mic's on. And you know what? A lot of everybody kind of, said, this can't be real, can't anything. But then just yesterday, you had multiple different people at NFL Network, NFL Insider, Pro Football Focus, et cetera, saying that, they're hearing the Detroit Lions star wide receiver might indeed be a part of a trade that goes down on draft day. We've heard all sorts of speculation going down, and it seems like it's centered around three teams. You're going to have to draw your own conclusion if this makes sense or not. One of them is the New Orleans Saints and the number 9th overall pick, a package to involve Jameson Williams, Hendon Hooker in exchange for draft capital. What the full details are, I do not know. It's speculation at best right now, and I want to caution everybody with it. Another one would be with the New York Football Jets. Would the Jets want to move on up and get Jameson Williams? I don't know their team well enough to have any kind of real informed information there. And another one, it's been suggested through a number of people who messaged me in the last 5 minutes or so, is the Chicago Bears. I would think the Bears, since they're in-division rivals and Ben Johnson, would be a no-fly zone for the Detroit Lions. But you know what? I've been wrong before. Let's dive into it real quick. We're going to bring in Hutch Jr., our man with feet on the ground. Hutch, what are you hearing regarding this?
Yeah, man. I think this is a story that has been kind of weird, I've been kind of just following the info. I thought at first maybe it was clickbait. Some of the beat writers, obviously their job is to put some stuff out there that we don't like to hear. Sure. At first, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't see it. And Brad Holmes has kind of hinted at us that, he didn't really know what he wanted to do. He kind of suggested that he might pick up the one last option for him this year, $15 million, and then kind of see the options. Right. And then you see the Lions host Matthew Golden on a top 30 visit. So that even increased speculation. My thing is I don't know if we trade him this year just because of the $15 million. You see what he got. But yeah, who knows? Brad Holmes, if you're going to move up in the draft, you're going to have to give up somebody. And everyone's been kind of saying that J-Mo is the odd man out of all these contracts. Me personally, I would keep J-Mo over some certain people on this team. I would say I'd probably keep J-Mo over Laporta. That's my hot take, just because of what J-Mo does for the offense as far as stretch the field, et cetera. But yeah, I guess we got 2 days, 48 hours until the draft. Who knows what happens? Brad Holmes has shocked us before. But I have heard some things from some people that they are asking for a first-round pick for J-Mo. So how many teams are going to move for a first round on J-Mo? That's going to be the question.
Let me ask you, and Duke Crew, everybody in the comment section, excuse me, you can feel free to throw out your thoughts there, but let's break down the three teams that are being suggested as a part of this. For those who don't know, just joining, Jameson Williams is unfollowed on all forms of his social media, the Detroit Lions and many Detroit Lions players, from what I'm being told. I've verified the Detroit Lions removal. I can't confirm everything else. But let's break down the three, I guess, recommended trading spots for them. One, the New Orleans Saints, the number 9 pick. We get it. They need a quarterback. They want offense. They got a new coach, yada, yada, yada. If you're the Detroit Lions and you're giving up both of those players for the number 9th pick, what are you potentially targeting in return?
I would think if they're going to 9, they're looking for the best available defensive line person, and to me, that is Mason Graham. If you're going to the 9th pick, you're gonna have to hope for Mason Graham, or you're looking for something else. Maybe you're let's just say JMO's replacement. Maybe you're looking at Luther Burden. Maybe you're looking at Tentora McClellan. Maybe you're looking at such and such. If you're moving into the top 10, you're looking at taking either JMO's replacement or you're taking the best available defensive lineman. And I don't even think it's a for sure fact that the Saints take a quarterback in this draft. People have now reported that the Saints might not even be taking Shedeur Sanders, which is crazy to me. But, I think this draft's going to be crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of trades. With the rumors now coming out that the Jets and both Cleveland are looking to move their picks. So this draft is going to be crazy. I think this is kind of the craziest pre-hype draft I've seen in a while, since probably the Trayvon Walker and Hutch debacle. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to 9 or you're going up to the Jets, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, if you're packaging JMO, that would be their first round. And then do they stick at 28 or do they move up again? I've been on the record of saying I think Brad Holmes moves up twice in the first round to get his 2 best players that he wants.
The other teams that have been suggested for those just joining us, you got the Jets, you got the Bears, which I would think would be a real long shot. The Jets would make some sense, non-division, etc. You'd face them once every 3 years unless you place them in the Super Bowl or a inter-conference game or something like that. But whatever it is, it just seems like Jameson Williams, he's got a lot of potential. We've seen him grow. We've seen him come, fall on his face a little bit with the different scenarios, the gambling situation, the gun situation. Do you think these odd growing learning opportunities are why perhaps the Lions are looking to trade him now or in the future?
I mean, I guess you can pinpoint at that, but I feel like they've kind of broken off that, right? Because, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that Dan Campbell said last year, like, hey, JMO's matured. He's starting to learn with the team. He's kind of having fun, things like that. So, yeah, sure, he's had the issues, but I feel like he's matured. He's maturing. He's finally picking up things. I think more or less you just got to look at the contracts you got to pay. I mean, you're going to have to pay Gibbs, Saquon, Barkley type money. You're going to have to pay, you got to pay Hutch, you got to pay Kirby. And then we go into the aspect of, are you going to pay 2 safeties over $20 million? I mean, you're going to have to pick and choose who you want on this team. I personally would love JMO on this team. I think he's a huge asset for the team, what he does, not just physically with stretching the field, but his one-play touch ability that he can take a end around and turn it into a 90-yard touchdown. He's a huge asset to this team. He's a huge asset to this offense. I would think it would be a mistake trading JMO this year. But maybe next year you look at, let's say he comes in and let's say he goes for 1,400 yards. Now you can shop him for, hey, he's had 2 years back-to-back of production. You either make the decision you're signing him to whatever the money is, or you send him in a trade package somewhere. So I don't put too much info into the social media stuff. I haven't really been checking on it. I don't even know, from what I've been following, people say that he was never following the Detroit Lions. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. I mean, we got 2 days. We'll see if it happens. But I think personally, JMO's here at least this year, and then next year is when they really look to shop him.
Well, I think we all agree that Jameson Williams, has been a target of different things within his career for the Lions. You've had the situation with a couple different suspensions, the law enforcement, but all of them is kind of, in my opinion, just not big deals. I mean, they are and they aren't, but he does, like you pointed out, he seems to be maturing and growing. So is this really impacting things? I would hope not. I like the guy. I've gone on record many times saying it. I get the enticing aspect, I guess, of maybe trading something to get the picks just so you can have more rookie contracts. And we get it. We've all heard it before. You can't pay everybody. Is it just simply that if he is traded, you can't pay everybody and he's simply the guy to get the short straw or whatever you want to say, and he's just the one that's going to fall?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where I think everyone's kind of just said. I mean, you're going to pay Branch just because of his defense ability. You're going to pay, I mean, obviously right now you're going to have to pay Hutch. You're going to have to pay Kirby. So there's 3. You got Gibbs coming up. You're going to have to pay Gibbs. You're not going to let that type of talent and that type of explosiveness for this offense leave. I mean, and then Laporta, depending on what he does. I mean, He kind of had a down year last year. His rookie year was amazing. So we'll see. Like me personally, like I said, I've gone on record. It's kind of a hot take, and I'll admit it, and I might take backlash for it, but I would keep Jamo over Laporta in this offense just because of what Jamo can do. He makes St. Brown better. He makes our running backs better. He makes this offense better. And I feel like tight ends, you can go find a tight end. You're not going to find a Jamo in every draft. You're not going to find Jamo in the free agency every time. Jamo is a really good player when he's on the field, and he can make production. I like Laporta. Laporta does great things for this offense, his blocking, his catching, whatever, but Jamo he just can do things for this offense that I feel like you can get in tight ends. So, yeah, I mean, right now, Jamo, people are saying that Jamo's the odd man out, but I just find it hard to believe that we're going to let a possible 1,200, 1,300 yard receiver walk for $15 million this year. That's just hard for me to understand.
Well, the only thing I can say to everybody watching, and everybody who watches either live or on delay in the future or whatever, I personally would not, if it was me, would not trade Jameson Williams. I'd find a way to make it work. The salary cap goes up every year. Get somebody who's smart with the books, which I'm sure the Lions do have, to make the cap work for your star players. Keep drafting 6, 7, 8 guys that bring in low, cheap rookie contracts to offset those bigger priced ones. If you can do that, I think it is sustainable for the most part. But all right, why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Hutch, let you get back to work and tell everybody where they can find you and your awesome work.
Yeah, as always, man, you guys can find me on here with Dan, Duke Crew. You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys find me on Twitter at the one and only Hutch Jr. And then cmvradio.com. You can find me on there as well.
All right, Duke Crew, we'll see you on the next one. If there's breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you just as quick as possible. I do want to reiterate, who knows where this goes, but at the next 48 hours, probably going to have a lot of Lions fans on the edge of their seats. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons, be good to each other. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to Reverend Moon? Juice for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? How Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?